Obviously, the idea of going after law firms themselves and law firms responding by making certain agreements with the administration. Trump, in one part, called it, I think, a settlement was the word he used, which I'm sure bristled a lot of people in those firms. What's your opinion of this attack?
I'm really frightened. I'm frightened for our country. I'm frightened for my profession. And I hope, and I think the Supreme Court is going to be troubled as well. We have an adversarial system of justice. It relies on people like me. I'm a defense attorney, going into court and arguing with the government. That's my job. And if I can't do that, we don't have a system of justice. I'm not fighting with the government because I want to hurt this country. It's my job. It's what the founders intended. And it is under threat. It is under threat when there are executive orders coming out saying, we're going to keep you from going into government buildings, including courthouses, because we don't like who you represented. And we're going to demand you do the kind of pro bono work we want for our causes. It's really, I did not expect to see this in my lifetime.
Well, here it is, of course, and there are others like the Attorney General, frankly, who, Justice Roberts, as you mentioned, may have taken issue with the idea of identifying judges and criticizing them based on their rulings, not because people don't criticize judges and people aren't satisfied with their rulings, but because there's calls to impeach them based on it being what you don't want to have happened. And the AG, Pam Bondi, didn't seem to get the same memo that Roberts was writing. Listen to this.
Many judges need to be removed, Judge Howell included, Judge Reyes, Judge Boasberg. These judges obviously cannot be impartial. They cannot be objective. They are district judges trying to control our entire country, and they're trying to obstruct Donald Trump's agenda.
I think they would think they were just ruling on the question presented.
Yeah, and it's actually fairly normal for district court judges to issue pretty sweeping rulings. If you don't like the rulings, you take them to an appeals court where there are 3 judges that hear the matter most of the time. So the fact that there's one judge is hardly shocking. Now, there has been criticism in various quarters of the legal community going back 15 years about, should individual judges have the power to block a policy across the country? We saw plenty, by the way, of Trump appointees and Republican appointed judges block administration policies from the Obama and Biden administrations, and even other things that aren't really policies of either administration. For example, trying to cancel the registration of the abortion drug across the entire country. That was an individual federal judge. You did not hear as much at that time of Republican voices, Trump-associated voices, screaming out and saying, how could an individual judge do this?
Right.
So it's a criticism that may be valid, but it seems very opportunistic in this particular circumstance.
Certainly selectively outraged. Gorsuch and Thomas, though, have talked about wanting, essentially, I'm paraphrasing them, to have the question of nationwide injunctions before them to address it more broadly. But the law firms, even if it's an appellate issue we're talking about, having law firms be the target of the ire of the administration and then reacting to that could have an impact on the appellate process eventually as well. I mean, there's amicus briefs that are filed. There are people who want to be represented in class action suits and beyond who want to go against the government for the principles stated. That all could be impacted in the entire process of even appeals.
Absolutely. And I think the capitulation that we've seen from 2 law firms already is frankly what frightens me the most, because I don't see how these executive orders were even intended to be lawful. They're not. They're bullying. But it's working. I mean, that's terrifying. You've got 2 law firms already who have essentially paid protection money to make sure that they're no longer spoken of this way, that those kinds of penalties, legal or not, are not put on them. And it is frightening because—
You think there'll be a chilling effect for the duration of the administration?
I don't know. I mean, it's not— I'm sure there are many of us who are not going to be chilled, but, and there's only so much that LeGrand Law and my 2 staff can do, but we're litigators, we'll keep fighting, but it is scary to see big firms capitulate.
We'll see what happens. Rebecca LeGrand, thank you for joining, and Josh Gerstein, I appreciate it as well. Still ahead.